Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be prepping a week of meals in however long it takes us. So we're going to go from this to this. So quite often prepping 7 meals at once can seem really daunting, but I promise you it is so worth it, because when you come to cook each meal for the next 7 days, it is so quick and easy. And because you have put in all of that time at the beginning, you really are grateful to yourself. So what I have got here is my little trusted book of the meals that I have prepped. We're going to be making lasagna, cottage pie, bolognese, a 3-bean pie, fajitas, Thai curry and pork burgers today. So what I like to do when I think about prepping is I like to think what meals can use the same sort of ingredients. So for example, my lasagna, cottage pie and bolognese, I have just bought 1.5 kilos of beef mince, and then once that's prepped, that is going to actually cater for all 3 of those meals. I'm also going to show you a couple of hacks and tips in this video that's going to seriously reduce the amount of time it takes to make some of these meals. All of these ingredients here cost me £45, which is another reason why you should prep in advance, because it honestly does cut down your food bill so much. What I'll do is I will list all of the ingredients and quantities I'll be using for each of these meals in my description box. So if you want to recreate these whole meals entirely, I'm going to make it as simple for you as possible. With all that said, let's get straight on with cooking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the meals that are going to take me the longest. So I'm going to be making a base for my bolognese, my lasagna and my cottage pie. So what I've got here, and I've actually shown you the sauce that I make so many times, I've just gone through my fridge to use up anything that's sort of on the turn, and then I've also just ordered some extra bits to go into this sauce too. So what I've got here is 2 onions. I'm going to use a whole bulb of garlic. I've got 3 peppers, some carrots, chopped tomatoes. I've got these really delicious roasted red peppers. I've got some basil. I've got rose harissa, just a teaspoon or 2 of that. Some stock. And then I've also just got a couple of these sachets that I got from HelloFresh, and I'm just going to use those up. So I've got a sun-dried tomato paste and a tomato puree paste. So let's clear a little bit of space and get prepping and cooking our sauce. Okay, so I've got my onions, my garlic, my carrots and my peppers in here. So I'm just going to saute those off for a couple of minutes before adding in the rest of my ingredients. The great thing about this is you can just roughly dice everything that you put in here, because you're going to blitz it down to a smooth sauce when it's ready. Now everything has sauteed off, I'm ready to add in my vegetable stock, and then I'm going to also add in all the rest of my ingredients too. So now your base sauce is cooking, it's time to brown off your meat. So like I said, I have got 1.5 kilos of beef mince here, and that is going to serve 3 different meals. So we're going to have about 500 grams in each meal. So we can really just leave this meat to kind of cook away without us paying too much attention to it. Just give it a little mix every now and then once it's browned, you can just take it off the heat until your sauce is ready. So while our beef is on the go, I'm going to start making our curry paste. So this is going to be a Thai green curry, like I said. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make enough paste to make 2 curries, so I can freeze them separately, and then I can just pull out one of my pastes whenever I need it. So I've written down everything I need for my curry paste so I don't miss anything out. You can use a white onion or you can use shallots, totally up to you. But I find shallots are just so fiddly to cut, and because we're prepping 7 meals today, I'm trying to make it as easy for everyone as possible. I've got 3 garlic cloves going in here. I'm also going to add in ginger, coriander, lemongrass, lime, cumin, fish sauce, olive oil and some salt and pepper too. Everything's in here ready to be blitzed up, and then your paste is done. Your paste is done and smelling. Oh my gosh, that smells so fresh. It's delicious. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to have this for our dinner tonight. So I am going to freeze half, like I said, because I've made enough for 2 portions here, and then I'm going to keep the other half in the fridge. So I have got these little like handy food storage bags that you can pop in the freezer as well. They're made out of silicone. You can wash them afterwards, so they're reusable. They're really great. I'll put a link down to these in my description box. So I'm just going to put half of this in here and then put it straight into the freezer. By the time your curry paste is done, your meat should be pretty much cooked through now. So I'm just going to turn the heat off and set that to one side. I do like to tidy up as I go along because I feel like if you've got a kind of clean-ish workspace, you have a much cleaner mind and it's much easier to kind of manage. So what I'm going to do quickly is just prep my veg for my curry, and then I'm going to add it into one of these little dishes. These are great. These again can go in the freezer or the fridge. I have got some corn and some mange too, which I will just cut into little bite-sized pieces and then pop it straight into this dish. The final thing to prep for our curry is to dice our chicken. You can buy diced chicken if you would prefer, but I just find it super easy to dice it up myself. But what I'm also going to do, because we have fajitas to prep too, I'm going to slice half of this chicken and then I'll dice the other half for my curry. Diced, sliced, ready for the freezer. Last thing to prep for the fajitas are my peppers and my onions. So I'm just going to slice them and then pop them into another one of these dishes, and that can go into the fridge. Veggies prepped and ready for the fridge. So now my mince is ready, my sauce is also ready, so I'm just going to quickly blitz that down and then I can put together 3 of my meals. Okay, my sauce has been blitzed. The great thing about making this sauce is you've got everything in here that you need as a base for so many meals. Also, I will have leftovers and I will use this as a pasta sauce as well. So effectively, I've actually made 9 meals today. So what I'm going to do is just ladle in a generous amount of my sauce. I'll just keep adding to it. So I'll put in a couple of ladles to begin with, and then I'll mix it up. If I need more, I'll just add more, and then just, like I said, keep on adding until I feel like I've got enough. I also wanted to let you know that I did buy lean beef mince, so I've literally got no fat that has come off this beef mince. But if you have got quite a lot of like liquid that's come off it and quite a lot of fat, I would just drain that off before adding in your tomato sauce. Right, so now that I have added that in and combined it all nicely, I'm going to add meat to 2 of my dishes right now, and I'm going to keep the 3rd lot of meat in here because I'm going to add some extras to it. So what I'm going to make here is 1 lasagna and 1 cottage pie. Are you ready for my first little tip? So I saw this the other day and I thought it was actually genius. What I have got here, you might think this isn't filled up very much, but this is a massive dish. So I've got a really generous amount of meat in there, and then instead of me making mash in my preparation process, I'm actually going to be using some croquettes on top here. I saw this the other day and I thought, what a brilliant idea. So you simply just lay them on top like this. Don't worry if they don't cover it completely, because when you dish up, you will obviously be giving someone a generous amount of your croquettes. The last thing to do for this meal is to just cover it with cheese. I'm actually going to overlay an image of this coming out of the oven and me sharing what it looks like. So I kind of mash the croquettes down a little bit so it separates a bit more. But that is your cottage pie done. So now it's time to make our lasagna. So like I showed you, I have put in a layer of meat first of all, lay down some pasta sheets, and then I've got some ricotta cheese here. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and put a layer of that on top of here instead of making up a white sauce. And then finally finish it off with some cheese. So in my wok, I've got my last 500 grams of my beef and sort of sauce mixture in here. This is going to be my bolognese. So what I'm going to add to this is a little bit of extra ingredients just to give it a bit of different flavor. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of Marmite. I'm also going to add in a good few shakes of soy and Lime Perrins as well. This is honestly going to give it so much extra flavor. If you want to add a sachet of bolognese mix into here instead, totally up to you. But I find just by adding these 3 ingredients to my mince, it really does make it taste amazing. Once everything's nicely combined, you just want to let the ingredients cool down before popping them into one of your Ziploc bags, and then it's ready for the freezer. Guys, we're close to the end. Look how little ingredients I have out still. We are very close. We've got 2 more meals to do. The 3-bean pie and then our pork burgers too. So here we go, 3 bean pie. I'm not even gonna wash this out. We're not veggies or anything, so if we have some of the beef mince taste in here, that's perfect for us. So I'll add in both of my tins of my mixed taco beans, and then I'm gonna drain off my cannellini beans before adding those in too. Your sauce is coming back into handy again. A ladle or maybe 2 in here, just add 1 in to begin with. No, I actually think 2, yeah, 2 ladles of that in there and combine everything together. What I'm also going to do here is just add in a generous amount of smoked paprika too. This adds so much depth to this meal. It's so good, and you do want to add just a grind or 2 of salt. You don't need much, as the beans and the tomato sauce are quite salty. Combine everything together, and that's literally this meal done. So I'm going to pop this straight into an oven-proof dish, and then my croquettes are coming back out. Much better sized dish this, so it doesn't look so lost like the cottage pie did. So because my cottage pie dish was so big, I don't have enough croquettes for the top of this. So what I'm actually just going to do instead is I'm just going to break the croquettes up and just lay them on top like this. Finish it off with a little bit of cheese on top. Done. I'm also done with my sauce now, and as you can see, I've got a lot left over. So like I said, I'm just going to keep this, and this will make a delicious pasta sauce. Guys, we are on to our last meal. We are going to be making some pork burgers. So in here I have got 500 grams of pork mince. I've actually bought the sausage meat that's got some flavors in there already. If you go into any supermarket, you'll see you can either get it plain or you can get it with flavored, like a flavored meat. This has got some sage in it already. So I'm going to add a little bit more sage to it, but really not that much at all. And then just a couple of grinds of salt and pepper too. And that is it. That is how we're going to be making our pork burgers. So I've taken all my rings off because I'm going in with my hands, and I'm just going to mix everything together like this. Oh, it smells like Christmas actually. And then what we're going to do is just shape this into 4 burgers and then just pop them into your container. So because your pork meat is quite sticky, I'm just going to put a layer of foil down in between to stop all the burgers sticking together. But that is your burgers done, and we are now complete. I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be back. So we are finally done. Honestly, that really wasn't as painful as you might think it was. And now I have got 9 evening meals ready to go straight into the oven. I really hope you have found this video useful. Like I said, I will link everything I have used for every single meal down below. I'll also put down what temperatures and times I'll be cooking all of these meals on when I come to cook them. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see another one of these videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.